Hello everyone, it's Eon here, and it's time to try to figure out what's coming in November of 2024. We're looking at the Sci-Fi releases today. New to my videos is Anvil Digital Forge. Anvil Digital Forge is releasing Daughters of the Burning Rose. This is airborne infantry. I believe this is another style of airborne infantry. One has a wing, this one has a jetpack. But we also have lightning mages, which I believe are kind of psychic. And then we have the Archangel. Speaking of Archvillain Games has released their preview for the month of November, and this month is Morior Invictus, the Argo Commando. This is the Warthog APC. You have my attention. We have the Argo Bulwark. Now, we're not going to look at every miniature. This is a preview. We'll come back and look at every miniature in the first overview of the month. This is a preview, so just to kind of get an idea of what we can expect. Here we have the Wayfarer. These come with several sculpts, including a missile launcher. Here we have the Argo Hammerfall. So various weapons teams of sorts. But these guys also come individually as commandos. I always like a two-handed weapon there, so 7, and here's number 11. So you'll see we have quite a few of those to look at. Crippled God Foundry has released their sci-fi release this month, and it's not too far from their fantasy release. So we have here Void Raiders is what they're calling it. So we have some grotesques, and then we have Lilith, Queen of Knives. Don't think you should ever name a daughter Lilith. We have some terrain pieces over on the left, and we have some Void Crones. And these come in a few different sculpts as well. Next up, we have Cyberforge, and Cyberforge Studio has put out their release. We have Titan City Stories. We have Saurian Space. So we have Commander Browder with Sally Ray and Vrag. Is Vrag with them? Or is he with them? And we have some Saurians. A little bit different sculpt. For their Wargaming release, we have the Sacred Sisters, and this is Morse Venator in Virtus Exosuit. There's a lot of detail to this miniature. And we also have the Revenger Squad. I'm not sure if that's the same person or just they all have the same hairstyle. Virtus Exosuits with various weapon options. Or are they just rearranged? We have Revenger Squad. Again, different weapon options. I can tell they're two different options because ones have 2 barrels, ones have 1 barrel. And some terrain. And for the Grid Runner as well. Edge Miniatures has released a small preview of November. They release in 8mm and 28mm preview. So the 8mm review for the Cursed Elves looks like this, and they were kind enough to actually show us what a test print of it looks like. We also see a release for the Tech Elves in 8mm, and the Tech Pirates have a 28mm review as well, or release. Mantic Games has the Vault, and they are being a little tight-lipped so far. It is October 26th as I record this. It's a Blackness of the Soul, so there's our preview. Looking forward to it, Mantic, as always. One Page Rules has released a few previews, the Human Defense Force will be getting a drill sergeant. I think the drill sergeant keeps the troops in line, rally them to the cause. And then we have some Psi-hackers. And I'm not exactly sure about the Psi-hacker. I think these are robots that are being controlled remotely by someone else. And that is the way they work. We'll be sure to look at these miniatures in more detail once November opens. Papsikels has released their enigmatic November open review, as always. A surrogate child salute and a Xeno Big Chap. The Big Chap comes in a few different sculpts. We have a human hybrid offspring egg. That's rather creepy. And Xeno huggers, because you need a lot of those, right? We have cryostasis sleep pods. And then what may be one of the most disturbing miniatures I've ever seen, and it's one of those you'll probably hit pause on to look at, is the birth of a hybrid offspring. Scavenger leader victim over on the left, if you notice that. We have a laser cutter and an adopted sister with a death chest bursted. And a scared young scavenger and some bases. Piper Makes has put out a few previews of the releases. I'm not sure what to call it, so I'm not going to try to call it anything. My understanding is that Piper Makes' models are designed to be very interchanged with previous releases and to be kit bashed. Build whatever you can imagine. Project Mobius is releasing every month, and I believe this turret is part of the November release. If I'm wrong, I apologize. That's not my intention. But I believe these were previews and not previously. So we see an outpost is kind of what we're going for this month. So this is Sci-Fi Outpost Ymir, and this is the main tower of that release for 2024, November. RNE Studio is releasing what's mostly kind of fantasy, but a couple of these tower over. So when you get to My Hero Academia, there's almost a sci-fi vibe to it. And so I wanted to include those for this purpose. Now, the classic Japanese role-playing game miniatures are more fantasy, but this part right here, Blizzard Volume 1, you can see a Protoss, and I'm assuming that's either Kerrigan or just a ghost that we're seeing here. So there are some science fiction releases in here as well. In addition, their champion tier is definitely science fiction. But again, I'm not 100% sure on where RNE Studios tiers are and all that. So if you know, let me know. And I do thank y'all for watching. We'll come back and look at all of this in more detail as the month of November goes, as we usually do. And I'll see you soon. Happy Halloween if I don't see you before.